This program is brought to you by the Center for a Sustainable Today.
Well, it's a pleasure to be able to share my passion towards sustainability, and specifically in the hospitality and meetings industry. My background is hotel, working for a Convention and Visitors Bureau, and then becoming connected and involved in an organization called the Green Meeting Industry Council. But really what I found before I became in this role as executive director is I was a member of a team on the Convention and Visitors Bureau that saw that we had a beautiful destination in Portland, Oregon that models and showcases the best of progressive-minded individuals and sustainability. And I had the privilege of working with meeting organizers that were seeking that. And I saw a natural match, but I also saw there was huge opportunities within the hospitality community within Portland to actually go a little deeper and walk the talk. And so first, by seeing that, wanting to form a green team in my organization, and received wonderful support from the leaders at Travel Portland at the time, but also being able to work and educate and engage others. And I became so passionate about seeing people feel empowered to make a difference in their organizations through hospitality and meetings that I wanted to do more. And GMIC provided me that opportunity for volunteer leadership, for engagement, for when I was frustrated to have other people that I could connect with on a similar level. And now being in this role as executive director, seeing the global movement. When I first became involved in GMIC, we had about 80 members, and that was in 2005, and now we're over 500 members in 20 countries worldwide. So this movement is not just about what's happening with me, what's happening with my own organization. It's about collectively, how do we actually transform how we design and engage and hold meetings and events? And how do we measure the performance of that and really look at ROI, not just for the bottom line economically, but what is the social impact of meetings and events? What is that integrated balance to really know why we want to make sure that our industry exists in the future? Well, it's so important today because there's so many driving pressures, whether or not we want to admit that as humans, we exist within a larger system. And so we can kind of go about our siloed ways and we can make decisions and choices that maybe ignore the environmental system, but over time that's going to catch up with us. So we have to realize is things that we take for granted, like clean air and good water to drink and food, things that we take advantage in developed countries are not things that people around the world are able to have to take advantage. And there's pressures that we're losing some of those vast resources, and that's going to impact our industry. So until we make changes, whether or not we want to, those changes are going to be forced upon us, or we can make the choice to actually make a difference so that we have a long-term future. And I think those organizations, those business leaders, those meetings that are really starting to model excellence within their events and reflect those values back into their organizations are seeing how they can be catalysts for change. Sometimes the driving factors might be initially it's a financial decision, or maybe initially it's another health reason. But once you start actually going down this path, the more you learn, the more educated you are about how your choices can make a difference, there's really no going back. And that's where I'm seeing this passion that's really coming forward. So tourism-driven economies, really people go to these places because they're beautiful and they provide an opportunity that showcases the best of that destination. As we saw earlier in the survey, that was the Green Travel Survey done, there's a growing audience that's really aware of green practices, and they want to make sure that they're going to places that model that. It may not be their #1 driving decision, but it's important for them, and they look for that, and they expect it, and especially in places like Oregon, where there's an expectation of sustainable practices. If there isn't that reflection on the guest level, if you check into a hotel and it doesn't mirror your expectations, there's a level of dissatisfaction, and as sustainability and hospitality providers, we want to make sure that we're providing the best in service and quality. So how can we minimize any levels of dissatisfaction and showcase really what is the best of our region and destination? And for more information about the Green Meeting Industry Council, please visit greenmeetings.info, and we'd love to be able to support your efforts.